Hi everyone, the IB Crocodile is here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have decided to go through some essential skills in algebra, starting with solving quadratic inequalities. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to solve a quadratic inequality. This is a very important skill that you need to master in the IB program in mathematics, and it has many applications in functions and so on. But today I'm going to focus on the how part, and another video I will focus on the why part. So bear with me, pick your pencils, and let's have fun. Okay, so the first thing is to differentiate between inequality and equation. So as you know, equation means we're going to have a left-hand side, a right-hand side, and then equal sign in between. That is an equation, right? While inequality, we don't have equal signs. Right? We will have like greater than, a less than sign, greater than or equal, or less than or equal. Right? So that is the difference between inequality and equation. Now, the term quadratic, meaning that the highest degree of the expression is 2. The highest degree, or basically the highest power of x in the expression, in the algebraic expression, is 2, which means second degree or quadratic, right? So the technique to solve a quadratic inequality is totally different than solving linear inequality like simple ones with just x power of 1. Okay, so let me go first. Let me show you what I call the algebraic approach. So the algebraic approach can be summarized into 3 steps. So step one, okay, make the right-hand side 0. Okay, so for example, here we have an example here. Find the values of x that solve the inequality x squared greater than x. So step one, you need to, for example, let's say bring x to the other side with negative sign. So let's say x squared minus x bigger than 0. So that is step one. Step two, find the critical points. Here, the critical points meaning the zeros of this quadratic expression. Okay, in another expression, the critical points may have like different meaning, but here it is okay. It is simple enough, so I can say okay, the critical points or the zeros of the quadratic expression. So let's like pretend that okay, x squared minus x equals 0. So now we are looking at a quadratic equation because I have equal sign. Okay, so solving a quadratic equation should be easy. Lots of ways you can do factoring. You can use the formula. So here I'm going to use factoring, basically HCF, the common factor. So I can take x common factor here, and what is left inside x minus 1 equals 0. So now then we have x1 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. This is the idea of factoring, right? So each factor could be 0, right? So then x minus 1 equals 0 implies that the second 0 has to be 1. So now we found the critical points or the zeros of the expression. Now, step 3, draw the number line. Okay, so step 3, let's draw the number line and place the zeros on the number line. Okay, so let's say, okay, this is the number line here from minus infinity to positive infinity, right? And let's say, okay, the 0 here already is one of our point. And then I would actually draw like an open circle here. Why? Because we don't have or equal. We have just greater than. And then at x equal 1, okay, not to scale, it's fine. and then I put here. So what I realize now, what I see now, the number line is divided into 3 regions, right? So this critical points, right, 0 and 1. Now we have region 1, region 2, region 3 on the number line, and then now we can like build what we call the sign chart, or basically we need to find the sign of the inequality in each region by picking random points in that region. So now back to this expression here, x squared minus x bigger than 0, right? Now let's pick a number below 0. Let's say -1. So -1 power 2 is basically 1, right? And then -1 here. So negative is going to be positive. So the sign here has to be positive, right? And then let's pick a number between 0 and 1. Let's say half. So 1/2 squared is a quarter. Quarter minus 1/2 is going to be negative number because quarter is less than a half. I'm not worried about the value itself. I need just to focus on the sign. What is the sign of the inequality? Okay, because quarter minus a half. So again, quarter is less than a half. So basically, it's going to be negative. Negative of 1/4. And then let's pick a number bigger than 1. Let's say 2. So 2 power 2, 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So again, positive. So this is the what we call the sign chart, you know, by picking testing point in each region and to know the sign of the inequality. Now, okay, if you want to add another step, like call it step 4, it's up to you. Okay, we can make it 4 steps instead of 3 steps, no problem. So step 4, write down the interval. So write down the solution or write down the solution interval. Okay, interval, of course, or intervals, could be a couple of interval or whatever. So now we look here, we are looking here at what are the values that makes this inequality bigger than 0, which means positive. So I have this interval here and that interval there. Okay, so one way to express that, you can say, okay, it is from negative infinity open, okay, all the way until 0. 0 also is open because it's not or equal to 0, it's just bigger than 0. And then the other interval is going to be from 1 open all the way to positive infinity, and then you should put union sign in between. So this is union here, or, right? And that's the way to write down the solution interval using interval notation, right? Another way to write this, you can say, okay, x has to be less than 0, right? Or now we have to use the word or, because or means union in probability language. So or x is bigger than 1. We cannot say and. You have to say or. Basically, I like this actually more like union. It's American system, and also it applies in IB diploma. It is well accepted, well known. So that is basically how you solve quadratic inequality. Okay, so you've got here now 4 steps, right? And that is the algebraic approach. Now the second approach, since we are taking IB in paper 2 in AA, SL, or HL, you are allowed to use a graphic calculator. Okay, one of these I have here, TI-84 plus CE, which is a great calculator. I mean, I can talk about calculators later, but yeah, you can, if it's in paper 2, you may not need to do this algebraic approach. You can just graph this on the calculator, and I will show you how to do this. But basically, I'm going to use Desmos just online here, graphing calculator, just to make it faster. So I can say, okay, so x squared. So what do we have here? We know it's going to be a parabola, right? So x to the power of 2 minus x. So that is our parabola here. right? And you can say, okay, now the intervals that this parabola here is bigger than 0. Now we confirm that the zeros or the critical points are 0 and 1, as we found using algebraic approach. And then now you see now all the points of y, right, that is positive or bigger than 0, right? It is from 0, or basically like any points less than 0 or any values bigger than 1, that makes the parabola, you know, above the x-axis, which means positive. Okay, so these are the two approaches. Okay, algebraic approach, okay, 4 steps, and graphical approach using the graphing calculator or graphic display calculator. We call it GDC. Okay, I hope it was helpful today. Now, this video, I finish how to solve quadratic inequality. Of course, we can practice lots of problems just to practice on these approaches. And then in next video, I will show the applications. I will discuss now the applications from the IB perspective program. Okay, how to, or why we need to know how to solve a quadratic inequality. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave any comments, questions in the description below, and have a good day.